Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our media availability for this afternoon. We're happy to have with us Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 Target Chevrolet in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, joined by his good friend and NASCAR K&N Pro Series East driver, Rico Abreu, driving the AccuDock Solutions GoPro Motorplex Curb Records Chevrolet. Boy, that's a mouthful, isn't it? And Rico obviously has made his transition this year to NASCAR from the Sprint Car Series, and he's had a couple starts in the K&N Pro Series East, finished ninth last week. And Rico, just talk a little bit about your move to NASCAR so far.
Yeah, it's definitely been a different transition for me, going from sprint cars to stock cars. A lot slower compared to the sprint cars, heavier cars. You know, you can't manhandle them like we can. It's fun, though. I enjoy it. We've gone to some tough tracks so far. Bristol's been my favorite so far. I'm really enjoying it.
And Kyle, obviously you made that transition, and you guys are real good friends. How did you talk Rico into giving NASCAR a try?
I don't know. He can kind of do whatever he wants to do. So I think he's got a lot of friends in the Cup Series. So I think he really want to come here and try making it to the top. He's been doing good so far. It's like you said, it's a really big transition, being different race cars and different track surfaces. The cars are just so big. It's hard to get used to how far out your nose is, how far out your right rear is. Because in sprint cars, you sit right in the middle of the car and you kind of know where your nose is already. And and like you said, you can't really manhandle these like you can in a sprint car. You kind of got what you got and have to deal with it. But he's been getting better. I think the first time he'd ever shifted a car was at New Smyrna, and he struggled there shifting, but he's good now. So I didn't give him any tips about shifting because I'm not the best at that. But yeah, he's good. He's just got to figure out the little things that make you a better stock car racer and make passing easier. And once he figures that out, he'll be good. But Bristol really suits my driving style, and we have similar driving styles. We love being up on the top, and he should be good.
Well, he had a top 10 at Greenville Pickens his first time out. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I was 2 laps down my first time at Greenville, so he's already ahead of me.
Okay, we'll open up for questions for either driver. Okay, we'll start over here with Aaron, then we'll go over to Stan next.
Aaron Burns, National Speed Sport News. This is for both of you. I'm just curious, you both obviously come from dirt racing backgrounds. Are there anything that you guys get from those experiences that can kind of take and translate over to when you race stock cars, and if so, what are they?
It just depends on the racetrack you're at. Like here, I think you can because you run up top, and Bristol's a place where you kind of can manhandle it, especially when you get to the top. I told him running here, especially when it gets up by the wall, is kind of like running a cushion in a sprint car, but a really easy cushion to run. Like it's not hard to hit your marks every lap, and but then you go to a track like Greenville, and you can't really take anything there that you've learned in sprint cars because it's so different. You have to roll and take care of your tires, and but yeah, I mean, and then I think there's things that you learn in stock cars that help when you go back to racing sprint cars. When you go to slick, slow racetracks, you get better at having more patience, stuff like that. So helps all around to be a better overall race car driver.
Okay, we'll go over to Stan. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rico. I'm sorry.
The biggest similarities is coming to these faster tracks is where the sprint car racing, we're up to speed so quick, and things happen a lot quicker, I feel, in a sprint car than they do here. There's definitely a lot more going on in a stock car for me, with the shifting and having someone in your ear the whole time with a spotter and a crew chief and letting lap times. I thank God there's no radios in sprint cars because I'd be screaming at my crew chief. It's yeah. But then the biggest thing I've been struggling with is just letting your car roll. Sprint car, and then learning how to pass too. Sprint car racing, you make a pass in one corner and you move on to the next car. Here you're, you get your nose to a guy and then you're to his door, and then you're, half a car ahead of him, and then he's back to your outside. It feels like takes you 10 laps to pass a car, and when I'm used to passing them in one corner. So those are the differences that I gotta figure out and learn, and just nitpick that stuff. I've been driving a Mustang around, so I've been practicing a lot of my shifting and using a clutch because I've never never drove anything like that. So it's just a big change for me. But I think the more I do it, the better you get at it.
Okay, sorry. Kevin, now we got to Stan.
Stan Creekmore, right straight in front of you, with RPMtonight.com. Rico, what was it in your youth that ignited your desire to just flat be in racing? And then was it Kyle Larson who ignited you to want to be in stock car racing?
Growing up, I couldn't do a lot just because my height, and so I was always like a go-getter, and I always wanted to succeed in everything I did. Well, I couldn't play sports when I got out of middle school, so I started racing. I met some friends and that raced in our hometown, and I just kept going with them. And then I raced and raced and raced and became great friends with Kyle. And then I ended up racing against him every weekend. And I just had that drive to want to beat him. I wasn't worried about anyone else out there. And I just kept getting better and better. And he moved on to the K&N series, and that's kind of when my open wheel career took off. Is when he was leaving, and so I'm a few years behind him, but I'm just making those easy processes through it and just not trying to, move up through the ranks too fast. And I think, the more I race, the better I get. I'm so new to this sport. I'm only been in this sport for 4 to 5 years, and it's all coming so quickly. So it's all a learning process for me. And I think if I keep chasing his butt, I can, keep on succeeding. Yeah, I won't pay you.
Okay, we'll go right here.
Michael Guzman, About.com NASCAR. For Rico, in the practice sessions and just learning the track, have you driven the car through the right rear tire more than you have at previous tracks? How's that transition been? Instead of having a car that pushes at Bristol, you could be more comfortable with a loose race car, ride the high line, similar to like a cushion, as Kyle said.
Yeah, I think we rolled out of the trailer here with our car a little bit tighter, just so I didn't get spooked with having a loose car right out the gate. There's so much more grip here than I've ever felt in a stock car, and downforce. It's kind of what I'm used to in a sprint car, but I'm not used to that much grip. And I think this track suits my style a lot more, just because you can get back to the throttle a lot sooner and carry your momentum through the corners. I think we have a really fast car for tonight, and I think it's going to be an exciting race.
Okay, we'll go over here to Bob.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Rico, can you talk about trying to get your car better and also trying to, make your way around other cars compared to, a sprint car on a dirt track where you can, change your line pretty much at will?
Yeah, majority of the tracks we've been going to are so line sensitive. New Smyrna, Greenville, Pickens. Those are the only other 2 tracks I've ever raced in a stock car. So it's, you got to stay with that line and ride behind a guy for, 15 to 20 laps before he makes a mistake, and then you try to get your nose underneath him. I feel like here you have a lot more options to go on the racetrack, and similar to sprint car racing, where if you're faster than a guy, you either go around him or you go underneath him, or you go drive through them if you're upset. But I think here is, you're just going to have a better car. I think track position's huge. I think you're going to have to go right out the gate, and I don't think you have to worry as much about your tires as you do the last few tracks we've ran. I've gotten a lot of information from a lot of good drivers, and my crew chief, Marty Lindley, he's ran here a time or two. So it's I'm really excited, and I think if as long as you just stay in this race and be there at the end of it, we'll have a shot.
Okay, we'll go over here to Matt.
Matt Weaver, PopularSpeed.com. First, for Rico, I know that when you started your stock car career, you ran the late models at New Smyrna, and now you're focusing exclusively on the K&N series. So for you, do you plan to do any more extracurricular stock car races? And for Kyle, when you're trying to make that transition from open wheels to NASCAR, do you need to have a lot of seat time in a different kind of stock car to be able to make that transition easier?
Right now, my schedule is just these K&N races. I haven't really put anything else on there besides all my sprint car races. It's pretty filled up with a lot of World of Outlaw races, so I'm really focusing on this K&N schedule. And I think, as good as I keep progressing, I'm fine right now with these 12 races, and maybe next year looking to running a few more in the Trucks or Nationwide Series if that's possible. And Xfinity, excuse me. And but other than that, right now it's just these 12 races.
Yeah, when I started out in stock cars, I did the same thing as him. I did the New Smyrna Speed Weeks, and then all I did was K&N, and I did some truck races at the end of the year. So, I don't know. I think running late models can help you, but you don't race on any tracks that are like that. When you move up to the truck series, you don't race on any hickories or any tracks like that. So. I think you learn enough in the East Series, and then maybe he could go do some West Series races. But yeah, I don't really think he needs to do a whole lot of late model stuff just because it's not what he's gonna be doing in his future.
Okay, we'll go to Stan, then come over to Jenna.
Yes, Stan. Kyle, he's been very complimentary of everything he's learned from you. What is the greatest thing you have learned from him?
Never give up, probably. He's got to work through a lot of things, being different, and it's cool to see how hard he drives, how well he treats people. So yeah, it just a lot of stuff more off the track. Really, I've learned from Rico, being a good friend and all that. So he's a great guy, and it's gonna be fun to see the world get to learn his personality.
Okay, we'll go to Jenna.
Rico, Jennifer, Avey, my first question for Rico. What is your schedule like? Is this the busiest year you've had, or did the K&N make you have to give other things up?
This will probably be the busiest year. It's just so nonstop lately. With the sprint cars being on the West Coast swing and the K&N's out here, it's back and forth, and then some tests in between. I think this year will be the busiest. Last year I thought was the busiest, but it's fixing to be a little busier, and just trying not to overload it is the biggest thing, and wear yourself out so you don't get to a K&N race and be in trouble with being too tired or anything like that. So it's you just got to plan it smart. Kyle's parents, his dad has done a really good job setting my schedule, and then Kendra Jacobs Aspire has done another fantastic job just being a part of my group and support as well.
Do you like being busy like this?
Excuse me?
Do you like being busy like this?
Yeah, I like it. It keeps you active. I've been on the go since I started sprint car racing, so I think it keeps you from getting ill. It keeps you from frustration. The biggest thing you got to do is when you have a bad night of racing, you got to move on because there's 150 more to go. I've got a great opportunity to be able to race a lot compared to a lot of other drivers who only run 10 to 20 races a year. So it's I take advantage of every race I get to go to.
And Kyle, when you're here helping Rico, whatever track, I've seen the photos and you in a headset, what are you doing? Like, what are you looking for, and then what do you do with that information?
Well, I feel like I can help him here better than I've been able to. I don't feel like I helped him really at all at New Smyrna or Greenville, but I feel like Bristol's a track I'm good at and I enjoy running, and I think I know the little things that it takes to go fast here. So yeah, I came up here Thursday for his practicing, and he looked fine. I really didn't have to tell him a whole lot. And then he's also got Shane Meal that helps him probably more than I do as far as at the tracks that Shane's raced at more than I have. So but yeah, I think it's nice to see that the grooves got gotten up by the wall, because I think those K&N cars will go really fast up there, and Rico's never afraid of the top, so he'll be good.
Can we go to Chris?
ChrisKnight, Rico, can you talk about Justin Marks? He seems to have a lot of confidence in you as well, and he seems to say, I know he's going to have some growing pains along the way, but he's a real deal and he can get this job done. Can you talk about what an inspiration it is to have an owner like him?
Yeah, Justin's a racer just like us, and a great owner as well. He's new to this team, and I got the opportunity to meet Justin at beginning of last year, or a few years ago, I guess, when he first built GoPro Motorplex. I was out there with Kyle and looking to get a go-kart to spend some time out there on his track. But Justin is one of those guys you can go talk to about anything, and we text back and forth quite a bit, and just on how I'm doing, and it's great to have him in our camp. Another top 10. You know, I'm just looking to finish these races. You know, because if you're sitting at the truck, you know, halfway through this thing, you're not learning anything. So stay out of trouble and just get another solid top 10. I think we have a really fast car on 10, 20 lap runs. And, you know, if I can, you know, make some clean passes and understand just how all this works and keep understanding it and learning, I'll be fine with that.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for your time and appreciate it. And good luck today, Rico, in the race. And Kyle, good luck tomorrow.